Put on the earth, or they weren't put on the earth to randomly go about grabbing and digging and taking, but they were. So this is the season you get this. You receive it not just for yourself. There's other species that eat those berries too. You don't only think of the human needs. One of the greatest misconceptions that people have about native cultures that I try to correct in my lectures is, the Indians only took what they needed. It was not only the needs of the people, the human people, but the other people too. In a dry year, a lean year, you would go out and take a little less of that because you knew that the other species, the other people needed that too. They knew that because they followed the instructions. And I'm not here to preach indigenous religion or anything like that to everybody, but I'm saying, please let us all consider and get together and talk about another way of being that would keep these kind of symptomatic behaviors and the accompanying destruction from reoccurring. We're in an endless cycle of putting Band-Aids on symptoms instead of attacking the disease. I hope you understand what that means. It's kind of dangerous to talk in public, especially at your place of employment, about fundamental systemic change. And that's what I came here to talk about. And Max, cut me off at any time. I have no sense of time. All of this can be discussed later too. But I think at this time of crisis, and to take it a little far, besides the climate change that has already been upon us, what's called self-reinforcing systemic climate changing loops have already been set in motion that have increased the rate of global warming. That's a better term than climate change. Climate change sounds a little too polite to me. It's too moderate. We're in a climate disaster. For example, the warming that's already occurred due to people not living by these instructions and just doing whatever they want to the earth for 200 years, amplified in the last 50 to 100 years, has created methane leaks in the Arctic and probably soon the Antarctic too, because both poles are melting at an unprecedented rate, releasing things that have been kept underground that were meant to be there, covered by ice. That's warming the earth even more. That's the indirect result from what we've already done. The warming of the poles has changed the weather patterns, and you've probably heard this already, but recently I also heard that the jet stream flows themselves. We typically get a west to east one with some deviation seasonally, occasionally. Our weather mostly comes from the